Morning, Nigel.
Morning.
Let's get a roll call from you firstly. Oli Sarkic went off with a hamstring
Yep.
problem on Saturday at home to Grimsby. Never a good sign with the hamstrings, is it? How is he today?
Well, we'll be assessed this week and be scanned and everything, but I would think we're looking 3 to 4 weeks at the moment, similar to George Lapsley.
George Lapsley out for potentially that long then?
Well, no, he's been out. That's when
Oh, sorry.
When he
Yeah.
did it against Warsaw, it was that sort of similar sort of injury. So he came back maybe a fraction too early, but hopefully George Lapsley's back in training this week, and we'll see him on the pitch at some point.
That's a good sign, isn't it?
It is. We need him back. It's all right. People say, "Oh, in January we didn't know this break was coming, the enforced break, which has meant to the really condensed fixture list, congested as well." You didn't know our top scorer was going to get injured, George Lapsley. We didn't know George Maris was going to do his groin. Stephen McLaughlin's been out. Suspension, Ryan Sweeney as well. There's been a few things that you can't really legislate for in that time. But the one thing that's kept us going is the effort of the players, and the endeavour has been brilliant, and especially in the last 3 home games, it's been very good indeed.
Ollie Clark, is he likely to make the squad tomorrow?
Yeah, we're hoping so. It's just day to day, see how he feels really physically, and he's another one that's gone from charging around, and his stats were up there, his running stats one of the highest in the team, and then all of a sudden he hit a wall and he can hardly raise a leg at the moment, but just see how he is day to day.
Forest Green Rovers at home tomorrow night. They're third in the Sky Bet League 2 table. Broadly speaking, Nigel, why do you think it is that Mansfield in recent times have played better and earned more points against the sides in the top 7 than sides lower down the division, at Morecambe and Cheltenham, for instance, in recent weeks?
Well, good question. If we had the answer to that, we'd know a little bit more about things, but very difficult to put your finger on it. It's not as if it's sort of big games and then they're the crowds and everything, because there's nobody in there. We don't approach the games any different. It might be the style of play and that sort of thing that we find it easier. Grimsby, Paul Hurst was saying afterwards, make no apologies for the way we play. We're scrapping and fighting. They smashed the ball forward, put 4 up second half, and put us on the back foot. So you don't get that sort of thing against the teams who are up there. They have a different way of playing. But I think Forest Green's versatility and flexibility with the way they play makes them probably one of the best, if not the best teams in the league.
Yeah, I was just going to come on to styles. It's likely to be a different type of game, isn't it? Grimsby on Saturday sort of pulled you into a real battle and scrap, as you mentioned there. And furthermore, Forest Green, again, as you touched upon, perhaps the best footballing side in the division. Are you expecting, therefore, a more free-flowing affair overall tomorrow night, Nigel?
Yeah, I think so. I think these games tend to be a little bit more open and create both teams creating chances, which is absolutely fine. Cheltenham was 30 shots in the game, something like that between the two teams. So if it's that sort of game, that's fine, and we'll take our chances. But it was difficult not to get drawn into that scrap on Saturday and the fight. But we're very, very pleased with the way the players stood up to it. These late goals are killing us, honestly, at the moment, and frustrating us. But we do feel as we're getting punished for every little thing at the moment, and we have done the last few weeks. Some of our own making, without a doubt, but some of it not.
How difficult is it to eradicate that?
Somebody's just been saying, about it's been going on best part of 3 seasons. We're only aware of obviously this season, and when you start a season and you concede a few late goals, then it gets into the player's psyche and mentality, and it's very difficult to get it out during a season. Pre-season's the one where we'll be really working on it, and it'd be amazing if you could start the first 6 games of the season, don't concede late, get a couple of late goals yourself, and all the players think we're going to score late goals and not concede.
Looking ahead to tomorrow night again, because Forest Green Rovers have a different style, as we've mentioned, to Grimsby, your last opponents, do you prepare any differently as a team?
No, we go out and we try and play how we want to play and do it, as you've seen, some of the stuff against Cheltenham, and certainly even against Cambridge when we lost, and against Bolton when we lost. Those sorts of performances is what we're looking for. We try and play our stuff. Sometimes we can't, because you talk about what Grimsby did on Saturday, makes it difficult, but that's how we set out, and then we deal with the opposition accordingly, whatever they throw at us.
Forest Green Rovers have the fewest defeats in Sky Bet League 2, 8 this season. Why are they so difficult to beat, Nigel?
I think just because of the variety of the play. I think they've sort of adapted a little bit in the last probably this season more than in previous seasons. Not sort of being pure football and done. Sometimes you have to do whatever's necessary to get a result, and that's going to be the last 10 games for us. And we're not that interested in performances in terms of how well we play and patterns of this and formations. We're just asking the players to get results in the last 10 games, and I think they've done that probably over the course of the season better than anybody.
And do you expect your players tomorrow night to raise their game, so to speak, against one of the division's better sides?
I hope with just performance we have done the last 3 home games, scrapping and battling for everything. We've beaten Cheltenham, drawn with Carlisle, drawn with Grimsby, conceded a last-minute goal. We want that sort of effort and commitment, and then we'll take our chances from there.
10 games to play, still confident of survival?
Yeah, I think we've got enough. We just want to try and get, without those late goals in the last few weeks, I think we'd be sitting, cost us 7 or 8 points. We'd be sitting on 50 points now, and you'd be sort of safe. So that's how fine the margins are. So we've got to make sure that we doesn't go down to the wire. But I think we've got enough to get the necessary results.
Finally, tomorrow marks 1 year since the UK went into the first lockdown during this pandemic. How do you reflect on the past year, Nigel, for both yourself, football and the wider world?
Oh, that's a big question. The wider world. It's been an unbelievably tough year, I think, for everybody within football and in the wider world. I think things have changed, possibly irreversibly in certain areas. And like everything, you've seen some incredible acts of kindness and generosity, and we've seen the other side of it as well, where we've seen acts of selfishness and greed that I don't think we can. People, I hope, because of what's happened, people aren't willing to put up with going forward, and that includes in football as well.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.